1360 WSAI, it's the revolution of talk radio. This is Yoga, the other 98%. Thank you so much for being there. My name is Scott Fitzgerald, along with Will Brashear.
Hello.
And we're here each and every week to discuss yoga, not just, the stretches and the postures and the asanas, which makes up about 2% of the world of yoga. It's the other 98%, the stuff that really affects the inside of you, that connects you with the entire universe. And we're blessed, if you've ever been on the internet and you've been looking around for advanced yoga things, different things that are going to accelerate you along your path, your spiritual development. You may have come across the Advanced Yoga Practices website or the AYP site and seen postings there and lessons there by a guy named Yogani. You've seen this before.
Yes, I've come across the site a few times, and if you're at home and you want to follow along the show with the website, it's AYPSite.com, AYP site.
Or you can go to advancedyogapractices.com. Either way, you're going to get there. And Yogani?
Yes.
We got you here. Well, good evening. Thanks for being with us here on 1360 WSAI. How many radio appearances have you done before?
Well, this is the first one, and I'm a little nervous, as you might imagine.
Well, there's really nothing to be nervous about.
But looking forward to it very much.
Well, good. As long as you're wearing underwear, we're all set. We'll keep this easy for you.
I forgot that when I started, and it really makes a difference.
It really does.
Yeah.
You need to feel supported. And the number to call, and I know that Yogani, you've got a lot of your students and your web posters standing by this morning that have been eager to hear you and to listen to you speak. Our telephone number is 513-749-1360. Or if you're outside of the Cincinnati area, you can call us at 877-345-3779. That's 877-345-3779. Now, Yogani, take us back to the very, very beginning. What set you off on your spiritual path?
Well, it's actually pretty ordinary. I was brought up in a Protestant Sunday school environment, and I was impressed with the Bible teachings that we had going on there, even when I was just a little kid. And I kind of quickly got the idea from within myself somewhere that I could do what Jesus did, and in terms of development. And I don't know where that came from. It certainly wasn't taught to me directly, but I just felt like that everybody could do what Jesus did. And so I found out as the years went by that it wasn't as simple as that. The teachings in the Christian environment were very good, very inspiring, but I didn't know how to go in. I was inspired by statements like, be still and know I am God, from the Old Testament, and seek and ye shall find, and knock and the door will open, and the door wasn't opening for me. So as I got older and came of age in the late 60s and early 70s, I started looking around, and that's when I discovered yoga. And it was a real revelation for me. I began with a meditation practice, and as soon as I did, it was like, oh boy, there's something here, because I discovered, as many have, that we're really a door to something greater that's within us. And it was a confirmation for me, and I've been at it ever since. That was about 35 years ago.
35 years ago. Now, at the end of all your postings and all your lessons, you always write, the guru is in you. In your beginning, did you have some leaders or some gurus or some spiritual teachers that helped you along the path, or was it pretty much a solo effort?
I had a lot of help, and I was very eclectic, so I really don't come representing one tradition. I looked at all of the popular traditions of the day. I did a lot of reading. I spent time with a bunch of different gurus at different times over the years, and one of the things that I found fairly early on is, for whatever reason, and I don't really know why, every tradition seems to not have the whole picture. And this was a revelation for me personally, and a challenge, as you might imagine. And that, my eclectic nature kind of helped with that, because I was able to begin integrating things fairly early on. And I've been doing it all these years, and it wasn't a popular thing to do, because those who were brought up in the traditions that came over from the East in the 70s and 80s and so on were typically told, you have to do what we're teaching and don't do anything else. But I didn't pay attention to that, and so I ended up crossing a lot of lines, and I'm glad I did, because I discovered that there are very powerful practices scattered all around the traditions, and when you bring them together, you really end up with something that's, as they say, the whole is much greater than the sum of the parts. And that's really how AYP has come to be, because after all the years of doing that integrating and putting it together for myself, and then being retired with the kids grown up, I felt it was really time to share it.
Right. You're reminding me, Yogani, of something I call cross-referencing for truth. That a lot of times I just wouldn't see it. You know, growing up as a Christian, actually, I never called myself a Christian, but I was just kind of open to everything, and I. You know, the same kind of thing that, you know, people were saying, this is the only way and don't look at anything else. And then the teachings of Gandhi really helped me a lot, where he said, like, the Bhagavad Gita is like my mother, the Quran is like my father, and so on, like this, and bringing things together. And so he opened me up to what I would call cross-referencing for truth, whereas if I didn't understand something like Catholic communion, I would listen to like Thich Nhat Hanh, a Buddhist monk you're probably familiar with, and he would
Yes.
he would really he talked about communion in his book, A Living Buddha, A Living Christ, and so if I didn't understand it in one view, I would find that it's cross-referencing for truth. I would get it in another way. Does that kind of sound like the same kind of thing you experienced?
Yeah, that's a beautiful way of putting it. It really is. I come from a scientific background. I have an engineering education, and so I've always sort of taken a look at this from somewhat of a scientific point of view as well. And one analogy I can make is, if in the technology we've developed in so many areas like electronics, if we had to rely on one source of information or one researcher's results, we wouldn't be progressing very fast. But we integrate things together. We cross the boundaries, as you say, Will. And if we do that in yoga, it's a whole new world. Right. Because what we're all after is the truth, and if we remain open-minded and look at the truth wherever we can find it, and are responsible in integrating it together, with emphasis on the word responsible, we can accomplish a whole lot more.
From the beginning to now, to the year 2006, how much has your life changed?
Gosh, I don't know. You'd have to ask my wife.
Was she a partner with you along this path, or
yes,
was it?
Yes, she has been, and she's been a wonderful support. And we've led a very normal life with raising 3 kids, and I worked for many years in the as we call it, the corporate world, and I'm fortunate now to be able to have the time to be sharing this. But I don't know. It's hard to tell how much you're changing, and this is really something that new meditators need to know, and which I recommend is a good place to start, is with deep meditation. And what you need to know is that your friends and family may notice the change in you first. And that's because we don't watch ourselves as closely as other people do. We might feel happier, less stressful, more productive, whatever, but we still will say to ourselves, well, gee, I'm still Yogani, or I'm still Will, or I'm still Scott. But the change kind of creeps up on you over the months and years of practice.